Hi, this is Team 8-3, and this is our final presentation for Comp 590 musical chairs. I'm Samir Podaturi.
I'm Kayla Casey.
I'm Tyler Smith.
And I'm Darshini Raman.
So what is musical chairs? Musical chairs allows for admin to be able to view seats and rooms in a tabular format, and it also allows for the addition and deletion of rooms and seats. All of these actions are simultaneously updated in our tabular display view, and as a stretch goal, should also be updated in a top-down grid view. So why do we need musical chairs? Currently, seat and room entities exist and data is pre-populated into the system via script, but there's no actual UI for displaying, adding, or deleting rooms and seats for CSXL admin. This makes it tough for admin to make up-to-date changes and also makes students unable to view the seat or room that they have reserved. So, musical chairs allows admin and students to do all of the above and more. Now, admin can edit rooms, seats, and their features quickly and easily when needed. Students can also view rooms and seats with their features, like if their seat has a monitor, if it's standing, if it's reservable, if it has a whiteboard, etc. That's why we have three main personas interacting with our feature. As a student visiting the CSXL, Sally students should be able to view the rooms and seats, but should not be able to add or delete any rooms and seats. Amy Ambassador should also be able to view the seats and rooms, but shouldn't be able to delete or add any of them, as this is an admin level permission. As an administrator of the CSXL, Rhonda Root should be able to view the rooms and seats and should also be able to add and delete them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Samira, for that amazing introduction. Now I'm going to walk you guys through the front end and our Cloud Apps deployment. So if you were to look at our Cloud Apps deployment from the perspective of Sally's student, this is the view that you would see. So on the left-hand side, we have our nav bar, and you'll now see our room view tab. And when you click on it, Sally is able to see the grids of all of the rooms that are populated into the database, as well as all the seats within them. And she can also see a tabular view of all the rooms with all the relevant information on them, and the same for all of the seats. Sally can also go ahead and click on any of the seats that she's interested in, and she can see what information is on them, like so. And she can also look at the different grids of other rooms if they have seats. So for example, group A has seats already pre-populated into it, but rooms that do not have seats pre-populated into it will not have grids. And this is just because of the information that we decided to go with. So now let's look at it from Rhonda's view, one of our administrators. So Rhonda, she can see the exact same room view as Sally, but under her user administration tab that was already implemented in the CSXL web app, she can go into this tab and see that there is a new page called Room and Seat Management. In here, she'll see the exact same tabular representations of the data as was on the room view page, but she now has the ability to delete rooms and delete seats, and she can add rooms and add seats. So I'm going to show you what it might look like to delete a seat and delete rooms. So we just saw group A and its grid with these seats. If I go ahead and click delete, it's going to delete that room and recursively delete all of the seats within it. And then going back to that room view, you'll see that group A is no longer there because it doesn't exist within our database. Now I'm going to quickly add a room and a seat just to show you what that would look like. So let's do a quick demo. Let's say that this room is in Fred Brooks. We'll give it the ID FB200, room number 200. Let's nickname this demo room for today. So it has a capacity of 10, maybe it has a whiteboard and a monitor, and we're going to add that room. You'll see it populates in the table right there with no seats in it. Now we're going to add a seat to that room. We'll call this demo seat 64. 64 is relating to the XY coordinates. So we'll put a 6 and a 4 right there. The ID, we'll just give it something random. I know there's no ID with 70, so I'll put that in there. And the shorthand, we'll just call it demo seat 64 as well. This room ID parameter is very important. You want it to match the exact same room ID as the room you're trying to link it to. So that's going to be FB200. Let's say it's reservable and has a monitor. Add that in, you'll see the demo seat there. You'll see it added its ID to the room that we just added. And then in the room view, if you go down, you'll see that there's a new grid for it with that seat in it and all the information that we just added.
All right, thank you for that overview of the front end, Kayla. And I'll be going over the back end right now. And for the back end, we're working with two main Pydantic models. And these models describe the structure of the data that we're expecting to work with in the front end and as well as the back end. So we have a room model and a seat model, and we have all these fields that we already saw from Kayla's demo in the front end. And we're also working with our own API and our service methods. So for our API, we're working with get, post, and delete methods. And for get, we're trying to get all rooms, get all seats, and get rooms by ID. We're trying to post new rooms, post new seats, and we're trying to delete rooms and delete seats. And these methods allow us to perform operations on our data in our system, and they become persistent. And for the entities in a database, we're working with a room entity and a seat entity that were already pre-existing before, but we added additional functionality to them. And these correspond to our associated models that I described earlier. And these entities map to tables in the database, which allow us to read and update data in our database, and they become persistent as well. And really quick, I'm going to walk through a demo in the back end. And right now I'm authorized as Sally student. So as Kayla and Samir went over for the permissions for Sally student, she should not be able to add any room or delete any seats or something like that. She should only be able to get rooms and get seats. So if I try to add a room as Sally student, we're going to see that we're going to have an error thrown out here, which is good in our case. And if I try and get rooms, this would be something that she should be able to do. So if I try this, we should not expect any errors here. And we see here that we're able to see all the rooms that she was able to get right here. And if I go here, I'm authorized as Rhonda Root, and Rhonda Root has permissions to do everything. She can get rooms, add rooms, get seats, add seats, and delete rooms and seats as well. So if I try and add a room as Rhonda Root in here, we see that we're able to do this without any errors popping out right here. And if I try and get all rooms, we'll see that the room that I just added was added into our database right here. And we see it down at the bottom right here.
All right, so now that you've seen the fruits of our labor, let's go ahead and discuss some of the challenges we faced. This included modules and imports where we were connecting our backend to our front end, as well as adapting reservation entities that Chris had established where we were using seats and rooms. We also had test case functionality issues with our delete and add methods. Git was being problematic with merge conflicts and the several branches we created. And finally, Kayla's kitten ate floss the night before a sprint. And here is peanut butter before he was taken to the emergency vet. This problem indicated how we were able to delegate tasks and work as a team regardless of various situations that arose. But over the course of a month-long project, we were able to integrate different challenges and thoroughly understand how our functionality works. And doing so, our team's resilience really shone through. So within these sprints, we tackled adapting reservation entities in Sprint 0. We focused on testing and connecting our backend and front end in Sprint 1. And in Sprint 2, we were able to work on displaying the layout in the grid view. By employing an agile framework, we were able to seamlessly integrate a project board on GitHub, and we leveraged issue tracking capabilities with both priority and size. Now, as for future goals, we expect to be able to edit seats by changing attributes of the seats without deletion. We also want to integrate a Cartesian plane instead of utilizing a 2D array. We would love to have our table display be more formatted with the search bar as well as a multi-page selection. And finally, the ability to delete reservations while we delete seats. The applications of musical chairs are abundant, and some of them include the new students being able to visually navigate rooms without prior experience, the organization of our layout, as well as adding new furniture and resources, the ability for group reservations being implemented and such being able to coordinate these areas within the room, and finally, the optimization of the platform, as you can see changes reflected in real time. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we had a lovely time carrying out this project.